In the wake of President Donald Trump's recent tariff announcements, a curious dichotomy has emerged between Wall Street's apparent indifference and consumers' rising anxiety. While the stock market seems to be brushing off the implications of these tariffs, the sentiment among American consumers tells a different story, one of concern over potential inflation and economic instability. Despite warnings from economists that tariffs often lead to increased prices for consumers, a recent Quinnipiac University poll revealed that 42% of Americans believe these trade barriers could benefit the U.S. economy. This disconnect may be rooted in the long-standing narrative of free trade that economists have championed, which posits that while there may be some losers, the overall economy would benefit. However, research surrounding the China shock has illuminated a different reality. The rapid influx of Chinese goods post-WTO accession in 2001 devastated manufacturing jobs in the U.S., creating economic hardship in numerous communities. As traders on Wall Street exhibit what some are calling tariff fatigue, the broader implications for consumers are becoming increasingly evident. Economist Claudia Sahm articulated the risks of using tariffs as a bargaining chip, noting that even the mere discussion of tariffs can stoke inflationary expectations. This sentiment is echoed by recent data showing a decline in U.S. consumer sentiment, with expectations for inflation over the next 5 years rising to levels not seen since May. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York's survey indicates consumers are bracing for price increases, which could lead to a self-fulfilling prophecy of inflationary pressure. The stock market's nonchalant response to Trump's latest tariff threats, such as the proposed 25% tariff on all steel and aluminum imports, can be explained by the cyclical nature of market psychology. Investors often oscillate between optimism and pessimism, focusing on immediate economic indicators like employment data while overlooking the long-term ramifications of policy decisions. Markets might be humming along now, buoyed by solid labor market indicators, but economic disasters typically unfold gradually before erupting into crises. The broader economic landscape also reflects apprehension about the potential ramifications of Trump's trade policies. As Karsten Brzezinski, ING's global head of macro research, pointed out, tariff wars are inflationary. That's not up for debate. With inflation expectations rising globally, particularly in the US, Europe, and Japan, analysts are reevaluating economic forecasts. Morgan Stanley recently adjusted its predictions, scrapping expectations for a Federal Reserve interest rate cut in light of ongoing tariff uncertainties. The situation is exacerbated by the complexities of global markets. Emerging economies already facing inflationary pressures are particularly vulnerable to the fallout from U.S. trade policies. In countries like Indonesia and Brazil, central banks are raising alarms about inflation risks stemming from potential tariff escalations. The interconnectedness of the global economy means that disruptions in U.S. trade policy can reverberate worldwide, complicating the inflation landscape. While some economists argue that tariffs can serve strategic purposes, especially for nurturing nascent industries, there is a growing consensus that widespread and prolonged tariff use can ultimately harm the U.S. economy. David Otter, a prominent economist involved in assessing the China shock, emphasized that the tariffs create additional costs and frictions for manufacturers reliant on foreign parts, negating any potential benefits. As the global economic environment continues to evolve in response to Trump's trade policies, the relationship between tariffs, inflation, and consumer behavior will remain a focal point for economists and policymakers alike. The uncertainty surrounding these trade measures not only complicates economic forecasts but also lays bare the vulnerabilities of American consumers and manufacturers to the whims of political decision-making. In conclusion, as markets navigate the complexities of tariff announcements and consumers brace for potential price hikes, the path forward remains fraught with challenges. The evolving landscape will likely spark further debate on the efficacy of tariffs and their long-term implications for both the U.S. economy and the global market. With inflationary pressures mounting, the coming months will be crucial in determining whether the chaos of the current trade environment leads to recovery or deeper economic woes. As the excitement of high school basketball builds in Illinois, the focus shifts to the impending IHSA girls basketball state tournament. set to kick off this week. Local teams from Oak Park, River Forest, OPRF, Fenwick and Trinity are gearing up for the postseason, each harboring aspirations of making a deep run culminating in an appearance at the state finals scheduled to take place at Illinois State University from March 6 to 8. Trinity, boasting a record of 20-10, enters the tournament seeded third in the Class 3A DePaul Prep sectional. The Blazers, under the guidance of head coach Kim Coleman, have established themselves as a competitive program, having reached at least 20 wins in each of the last 3 seasons. However, the elusive sectional championship has thus far escaped them. Despite reaching the sectional finals for 3 consecutive years, their last trip to the Super Sectionals was in 2016. This year they are determined to change that narrative. With a strong roster featuring juniors Zaria Goins and Chloe Santos, who have both been recognized as all-conference selections, the team is optimistic. Goins is averaging an impressive 12 points, 5 rebounds and 2.5 steals per game, while Santos contributes 8.9 points and 6 rebounds per game. The addition of newcomers like freshman Kiara Gamble and junior Armanti Dambroskas has further bolstered their lineup, providing the Blazers with a good balance of experience and youthful energy. In contrast, Fenwick, with a record of 13-17, enters the tournament as the 8th seed in the Class 4A Lyons Township sectional. The Friars' season has been characterized by ups and downs, largely due to their young roster, which includes a significant junior class and 2 freshmen. "We showed how dangerous we can be," remarked coach Leanie Ferguson, acknowledging the potential that exists within the team despite their inexperience leading to several losses. Freshman Avani Williams and senior Kira Kapsch have been standouts, averaging 11.3 and 13.5 points per game, respectively. For Fenwick to make a significant playoff run, Ferguson emphasizes the need for consistent performance throughout the game. "We've seen games where we play great one half, then come out and we're a totally different team in the second half," she said. The Friars are determined to rectify this inconsistency as they prepare for their first playoff game against Morton. On the other end of the spectrum, OPRF has faced a challenging season with a record of 3-27, earning the 18th seed in the Lyons Township sectional. With 3 consecutive seasons without a win in the West Suburban Silver, the Huskies have been in a rebuilding phase. Coach Renee Brantley remains optimistic about the future, noting the valuable experience gained by her young squad. "We had a tough game schedule with a young team learning to get better," she stated. Key contributions have come from seniors such as Sienna Alfonsi and Anna Brewer, alongside promising performances from younger players. Bradley calls for a focus on ball movement and aggression to build on their development as they approach their first playoff game against Oak Lawn Richards. As the tournament unfolds, the aspirations of these local teams reflect the fervor of high school basketball in Illinois. Each team's journey through the postseason will undoubtedly shape their narratives for the years to come, with hopes of lifting the state championship trophy driving their efforts. The coming weeks promise to be filled with thrilling matchups and the potential for unforgettable moments on the court as these young athletes strive for success. In an unexpected culinary twist, Thailand is emerging as a surprising hub for artisanal cheese production. Despite a population largely affected by lactose intolerance, this development contradicts traditional assumptions about cheese-loving nations, positioning Thailand alongside renowned dairy-producing countries. A recent report by Mintel noted that while countries like the Netherlands, France, and the United States dominate global cheese consumption, Thailand is carving out a unique niche. Jaratat Snidwang Sna Ayuthia, founder of the Chiang Mai-based Jardizan cheese brand, is at the forefront of this movement. He emphasizes that his passion for cheesemaking feels almost destined, as if he has been a cheesemaker in previous lives. "We are crafting cheeses that not only reflect our local flavors but also appeal to those who might be hesitant to embrace dairy," Na Ayuthia stated. The lactose intolerant conundrum in Thailand is significant, with a staggering 98.6% of the population reported to struggle with lactose digestion, according to a 2023 study in PLOS One. This statistic might suggest a limited market for cheese, yet it has not deterred local artisans. Instead, they are innovating to create products that accommodate this demographic. For instance, Rekanakorn Kai Srikong, a veterinarian and researcher at Little Goat Farm, has adopted a scientific approach to cheesemaking. After realizing many farms faced management challenges, she meticulously researched optimal conditions for dairy production, leading to the establishment of her own successful operation. Srikong's early attempts at cheesemaking were met with criticism, but her rigorous experimentation paid off. Today her cheeses are featured in Michelin-starred restaurants across Thailand. "The first cheese I made, I thought, yes, it is cheese, but a chef told me no, it's not cheese at all," she recalled, illustrating the learning curve associated with this craft. Historically, dairy consumption in Thailand has been modest. A 2021 report indicated that the average Thai consumes only about 4.7 gallons 18 liters of milk annually, a stark contrast to the 15 gallons 56.78 liters consumed by the average American. This disparity can be attributed to cultural preferences that favor ingredients like coconut milk over dairy, as well as environmental factors that complicate large-scale dairy farming in Thailand's tropical climate. However, a noticeable shift has occurred in recent years. Since the mid-2000s, the Thai government has promoted dairy consumption as a means to enhance nutritional standards among children, leading to an increase in dairy production. The Thai cheese market has experienced a compound annual growth rate of 5.8% between 2016 and 2020, indicating a burgeoning interest in local cheese offerings. Interestingly, many types of cheese contain low levels of lactose owing to the fermentation process. Traditional cheeses such as cheddar, Swiss, and blue cheese can be enjoyed by those with lactose intolerance if consumed in moderation. Na Ayuthia suggests that curious Thais start with blue cheese, which often has lower lactose content, opening the door to broader acceptance. Tourism plays a pivotal role in this cheese renaissance. With Thailand targeting between 36 and 39 million international visitors in 2025, local cheesemakers are keen to cater to the tastes of these travelers, many of whom seek familiar comforts like pizza and cheese platters. Upscale restaurants and hotels in major tourist destinations are increasingly partnering with local producers to incorporate Thai flavors into Western favorites, creating a unique culinary fusion. For those looking to experience Thai cheese, several artisanal producers are making waves. Jardison is renowned for its creamy Sanpaquin reminiscent of brie, while Little Goat Farm offers distinctive varieties such as Lechedi brie and the safflower-covered paella. Dufan cheese is a go-to for lactose-sensitive individuals specializing in goat cheese, while Murrah Farm delights with its buffalo mozzarella. Visitors can discover these cheeses at local night markets, upscale markets like Sloan's, or through dining experiences at top-tier restaurants like Côte and Le Normandie, both of which feature locally sourced cheeses in their menus. As Thailand's artisanal cheese industry continues to grow, it reflects a broader trend of culinary innovation amidst cultural and biological challenges. The future holds promise for more diverse dairy offerings that can cater to both locals and tourists alike, potentially changing perceptions of cheese in a nation where lactose intolerance has long dictated dietary choices. In a rapidly evolving landscape where technology intersects with government efficiency and corporate responsibility, Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency DOGE is at the center of a heated debate. Announced as a transformative initiative under the Trump administration, DOGE aims to streamline government operations, but its implementation has sparked controversy and raised critical questions about oversight, efficiency, and ethics. On February 11, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth expressed the Pentagon's openness to collaborating with DOGE to identify inefficiencies within the Department of Defense. "There's plenty of places where we want the keen eye of DOGE to look for efficiency measures," Hegseth stated, emphasizing the need for careful coordination to avoid compromising operational capabilities. However, the specifics of potential cuts remain ambiguous, particularly given the historical reluctance of lawmakers to reduce defense spending. The backdrop of this initiative is fraught with legal challenges and public scrutiny. Just days prior, U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmayer issued a ruling that temporarily barred DOGE from accessing Treasury payments due to concerns over the security of sensitive information. This order came amidst a lawsuit from 19 Democratic state attorneys general who argue that allowing Doge access to government payment systems violates legal protocols and could endanger personal information. Musk's leadership and the agency's operations have not been without controversy. Reports surfaced of troubling social media posts from Doge staff members prompting resignations and public outcry. One staffer, Marco Velez, who initially resigned following the exposure of his offensive comments, was later reinstated after a public poll conducted by Musk showed overwhelming support for his return. This incident has highlighted the challenges Doge faces in maintaining a professional and accountable workforce. As Doge embarks on its mission, the agency has gained access to sensitive data across various government departments. This has raised alarms among lawmakers and advocacy groups, leading to protests and calls for investigations into Doge's activities. Critics, including Representative Val Hoyle, have accused Musk of attempting to dismantle federal agencies without proper oversight. Who is this unelected billionaire that he can attempt to dismantle federal agencies? Hoyle questioned, reflecting widespread concerns about the concentration of power within Doge. Despite the controversies, Musk's vision for Doge aims to modernize federal technology and maximize efficiency. Established via executive order, Doge is not a standard federal agency but rather a restructured entity tasked with identifying wasteful expenditures and improving interagency collaboration. However, the lack of clarity regarding its authority adds to the uncertainty surrounding its operations. As the agency navigates legal hurdles and public backlash, the implications of its work could significantly impact the future of federal operations. If successful, Doge could set a precedent for how government efficiency is approached, potentially leading to significant changes in how taxpayer dollars are allocated. The ongoing scrutiny and backlash from various stakeholders will likely shape the direction of Doge's initiatives in the coming months. Looking ahead, the developments surrounding Doge and Musk's controversial leadership will be closely watched. As the agency seeks to implement its efficiency agenda amid a landscape of legal challenges and public dissent, the balance between innovation and accountability will be critical. The unfolding narrative of Doge serves as a poignant reminder of the complexities at the intersection of technology governance and public trust, and it remains to be seen how this dynamic will evolve in the months to come. In a landscape where patients are increasingly vocal about their experiences, the issue of weight stigma in healthcare has emerged as a critical concern. Many individuals are now sharing their stories of encounters with healthcare professionals that have left them feeling judged and marginalized due to their body size. This issue is not merely anecdotal. Research underscores the detrimental effects of weight-based discrimination on health outcomes and patient trust. Patty Neese recalls a formative experience from her childhood when a nurse publicly labeled her fat during a classroom weigh-in. The memory remains painful, highlighting the long-lasting emotional scars that can result from such stigmatizing encounters. Similarly, Liz Paul recounts a harrowing visit to her OB/GYN where she was met with disdain and ultimately told that her body size rendered her unfit for treatment. "I always go in with my guard up," Paul reflects, illuminating the exhaustion many patients feel when facing potential bias in medical settings. A staggering 80% of individuals with larger body sizes report experiencing weight stigma during medical appointments, as revealed by recent studies. This pervasive bias not only affects the quality of care patients receive but can also lead to serious health consequences. A 2021 study published in the International Journal of Obesity found that weight stigma could lead to a 60% increase in mortality, further compounding the risks for those who avoid necessary medical care due to fear of judgment. Experts like Mackenzie Burrows from the Obesity Action Coalition emphasize the importance of addressing these biases in healthcare. Stigma ranges from how someone feels in the appointment to how the doctors are talking to them about their weight, Burrows explains, reiterating that the emotional toll of such experiences can lead to patients canceling appointments and potentially missing out on critical preventive care. The origins of weight bias in healthcare are complex, stemming from a lack of education on the topic among healthcare professionals and the reliance on body mass index (BMI) as a measure of health. Catherine Flegel, an epidemiologist, argues that health and weight are not synonymous. Evidence is limited that weight loss will benefit you, she states, pointing to research that suggests cardiovascular fitness may be a more reliable indicator of health than weight alone. Despite the negative ramifications of weight stigma, there are signs of progress within the medical community. Organizations such as the American Medical Association have begun to recognize the limitations of BMI and advocate for a more nuanced approach to patient care. Medical schools like Rutgers University and Johns Hopkins University are also prioritizing education on weight bias, paving the way for future healthcare professionals to approach weight-related discussions with greater sensitivity. Nevertheless, the current landscape remains fraught with challenges for patients who face weight stigma. Nice and Paul both express hesitance in seeking medical attention, fearing that their concerns will be dismissed or attributed solely to their weight. This hesitation is not unfounded. Studies show that patients with higher BMI often delay care and switch providers to avoid stigma, potentially exacerbating health issues. Reagan Chastain, a patient advocate, underscores the urgency of addressing weight stigma, noting that such experiences can retrigger eating disorders in vulnerable individuals. For many, the act of visiting a doctor can evoke feelings of shame and marginalization, prompting them to question their worth and the validity of their health concerns. As the medical community grapples with the implications of weight stigma, experts urge patients to advocate for themselves. "You have more power than people sometimes think you do," says Vivian Lee, an eating disorder therapist. She encourages patients to initiate conversations about weight with their healthcare providers and to assert their rights, including the option to decline weighing during appointments or to request discussions that focus on overall health rather than weight alone. In conclusion, while the journey toward a more inclusive and supportive healthcare system is ongoing, the growing awareness of weight stigma is a crucial step forward. The voices of patients like Nice and Paul are essential in catalyzing change, demanding that healthcare providers recognize the complexities of health beyond mere numbers on a scale. As the dialogue around weight and health continues to evolve, there is hope that future generations will experience a healthcare system that prioritizes dignity, respect, and holistic well-being. In a world where inflationary pressures loom large, a confluence of trade tensions and economic shifts is causing significant concern among global economists. Recently, remarks from President Donald Trump regarding potential tariffs on U.S. trading partners have raised alarms, suggesting a rekindling of inflation that could disrupt economies worldwide. As the specter of tariff wars emerges, analysts are grappling with the implications for global markets, consumer prices, and central banking policies. "Tariff wars are inflationary, that's not up for debate," stated Karsten Brzezinski, ING's global head of macro research. His assessment underscores a growing belief that trade disputes are likely to exacerbate existing inflationary trends, particularly as they intersect with structural challenges such as aging populations and climate change. The International Monetary Fund previously suggested that the battle against inflation was nearing completion, yet recent developments at the World Economic Forum have cast doubt on this optimistic outlook. Indeed, the market's response to Trump's trade threats has been palpable, with a Bank of America survey revealing that global fund managers view the resurgence of consumer price growth as a pressing theme for 2025. Analysts are revisiting their inflation forecasts, with many now predicting higher rates than previously expected. Morgan Stanley, for instance, has revised its stance on potential Federal Reserve interest rate cuts, indicating that ongoing tariff uncertainties complicate monetary policy decisions. In the United States, the labor market's resilience has kept the Federal Reserve vigilant, with Chair Jerome Powell emphasizing the need for caution in interest rate adjustments. "We don't need to be preemptive," said San Francisco Fed Chief Mary Daly, highlighting the central bank's commitment to assessing the broader economic landscape before making further moves. This cautious approach reflects a recognition that proposed tariffs could disrupt the delicate balance of inflation expectations. The situation is further complicated by international dynamics. In Europe, policymakers remain cautiously optimistic, with European Central Bank President Christine Lagarde downplaying the potential for imported inflation. However, recent data indicates an acceleration in euro area inflation, prompting a re-evaluation of the inflation outlook by economists. As one ECB official noted, friction in global trade could introduce new risks to the inflation narrative, particularly as energy costs rise. Globally, inflationary pressures are not limited to the US and Europe. Emerging markets such as Indonesia are grappling with their own challenges as weak domestic demand and rising core inflation prompt central banks to intervene. In Japan, the resurgence of price increases has been welcomed after years of deflation, while Australia is poised to embark on an easing cycle amid a strong labor market. China, on the other hand, finds itself in a period of deflation, with economists forecasting that a deepening trade war could necessitate further stimulus measures to offset the impact on exports. We should never forget that the world's second biggest economy, China, continues to wallow in quasi-deflation, remarked Gillis Moek, chief economist at AXA Investment Managers. This scenario represents a significant risk to global trade dynamics, as the interconnectedness of economies means that disturbances in one region can resonate worldwide. As we move through 2025, the evolving landscape of trade relations, inflation expectations, and central bank strategies will continue to shape economic prospects. The tension between growth and price stability will be a critical area of focus for policymakers and investors alike. With the potential for further tariff impositions and countermeasures, the global economy stands at a crossroads where the decisions made today will have lasting implications for inflation and overall economic health. As analysts and economists navigate this uncertain terrain, the emphasis will be on maintaining vigilance and adaptability in the face of rapidly changing circumstances. Recent scientific investigations have unveiled a groundbreaking revelation about Earth's inner core, long believed to be a solid and unchanging entity at the heart of our planet. A study published in Nature Geoscience reveals that the inner core is not only solid but also dynamic, as it is undergoing changes in shape, a discovery that may have profound implications for various geological and environmental phenomena. For years, scientists have speculated about the nature of the inner core, traditionally viewed as a rigid sphere composed mainly of iron and nickel. However, new research led by John Vidal, a seismologist at the University of Southern California, demonstrates that this core can deform. The study analyzed seismic waves generated by earthquakes, particularly those originating from the South Sandwich Islands, and revealed notable alterations in the waveforms recorded between 2004 and 2008. These variations suggest that the inner core is experiencing physical changes, challenging the long-held belief of its immutability. After decades of research and debates, we are coming to an ever clearer picture of the changing inner core, remarked Xiaodong Song, a seismologist at Peking University, who was not part of the study. Vidal highlighted that this is the first time scientists have observed direct evidence of deformation within the inner core, a finding that opens up new inquiries regarding its effects on Earth's magnetic field and the length of our day. The inner core, situated approximately 5,100 kilometers beneath the Earth's surface, is surrounded by a molten outer core. This layer plays a crucial role in generating the planet's magnetic field through the movement of molten metal. The interaction between the solid inner core and the liquid outer core is complex, as the inner core grows by crystallizing iron from the outer core. It influences the dynamics of the mantle above and the magnetic field that envelopes Earth. Previous studies have established that the inner core rotates at a slightly different speed than the rest of the planet. This rotation has been linked to changes in seismic signals. However, the latest findings indicate that both core rotation and physical changes at the boundary between the inner and outer core contribute to observed seismic anomalies. Many changes in the waveforms from the South Sandwich Islands earthquakes can be attributed to core rotation, but others are probably caused by the inner core-outer core boundary deforming, Vidal explained. The implications of these findings are vast. Changes in the inner core's dynamics could potentially influence the stability and strength of Earth's magnetic field, which serves as a shield against solar radiation and cosmic rays. Dr. Yoshi Miyazaki, an associate professor at Rutgers University, emphasized the importance of understanding these changes, stating, "Observing changes on an annual timescale is always intriguing as it enhances our understanding of inner core dynamics." What makes this discovery even more compelling is the prospect of future research that could further illuminate the complexities of Earth's interior. Scientists anticipate that continued analysis of seismic wave patterns may reveal additional deformations within the inner core, providing insight into the forces at play deep within the Earth. As the inner core continues to evolve, its ongoing transformations may also shed light on the long-term evolution of our planet. While the direct connection between life on Earth's surface and the inner core remains distant, what happens at the inner-outer core boundary has implications for Earth's long-term evolution. Miyazaki concluded. This newfound understanding of Earth's inner workings not only challenges existing geological theories but also highlights the dynamic nature of our planet. As researchers continue to delve into the mysteries of the inner core, we can expect to uncover even more about the profound processes that shape our world, possibly altering our understanding of planetary science for generations to come. As the cool temperatures settle in and snow blankets the picturesque northern Sierra Nevada, a group of students known as the Mountain Kids in Plumas County carry with them a powerful tool for exploration and self-discovery: a nature journal. These journals serve as personal archives, capturing the essence of their weekly adventures through drawings, notes, and reflections. Rob Wade, a seasoned place-based educator with over 3 decades of experience, emphasizes the transformative impact of this practice, blending education with the natural world around them. Place-based education seeks to root learning in the local environment, allowing students to connect deeply with their surroundings. Wade's program Outdoor Core intertwines nature journaling with a curriculum that encourages students to explore and document the diverse ecosystems of their region. He explains each place holds nature and culture simultaneously, and for young learners this connection fosters cognitive understanding as they engage with the world right at their feet. By observing their environment, these students cultivate mindfulness that helps them feel a sense of belonging, a feeling that is increasingly important in today's screen-dominated society. Research underscores the benefits of spending time in nature, linking it to improved focus, mood enhancement, and stress reduction. Nature journaling amplifies these advantages by providing children with a reflective space to articulate their thoughts. Wade notes that in a world full of distractions, this mindful practice allows children to slow down and engage with their surroundings, fostering a greater sense of compassion and connection to both the land and themselves. Nature journaling encourages students to express their curiosity and wonder about the natural world. Wade describes a moment when a child mused, "I wonder if it is a seed or a leaf. It reminds me of a wing." These reflections not only capture the individual's observations but also facilitate a deeper dialogue between the child and the environment. Each journal page becomes a canvas where personal discovery intersects with a shared understanding of the landscape, creating a holistic view of their learning experience. The impact of nature journaling extends beyond the individual. In Wade's classroom, the collective practice of journaling fosters a sense of community. Each student's unique observations contribute to a broader understanding of their shared environment, revealing how interconnected their experiences truly are. The program provides each child with a chance to explore their identity as a mountain kid, a term that encapsulates their growing relationship with the land. Wade asserts that nature is an equalizer transcending cultural and social divides. It offers a universal experience as it rains, snows, and breathes life into every corner of the landscape, demanding the same effort from all who traverse its paths. He shares his own experiences in urban settings, highlighting that nature journaling can thrive even in less traditional environments, where children can observe the intricacies of sidewalk cracks or the seasonal dance of local birds. Collaborating with fellow educators such as John Muir-Laws, Wade has nurtured a culture of nature journaling that prioritizes connection to place and purpose. Laws emphasizes that the practice is about more than producing aesthetically pleasing illustrations, it is about engaging with nature and recording those experiences authentically. The outdoor core curriculum emphasizes progressive learning, guiding students through various ecological themes each year, from studying pollinators to exploring the intricacies of local watersheds. This cyclical approach fosters an evolving relationship with nature, encouraging students to return to familiar spaces with fresh perspectives. For educators interested in integrating nature journaling into their teaching practices, Wade offers practical advice. He recommends establishing a framework for journal entries that includes the date, location, and the 3 languages of nature journaling: pictures, words, and numbers. Furthermore, he advocates for creating sit spots where students can develop a personal connection to a specific location, fostering intimacy with the land over time. In an increasingly politically diverse environment, Wade reflects on how nature journaling has the potential to bridge divides and cultivate a shared love for the land. When community members come together, whether for a class hike or a stewardship project, they unite under a common purpose, reinforcing the notion that while boundaries may exist, the bonds created through shared experiences in nature are strong. The journey of nature journaling cultivates empathy, compassion, and responsibility among students, allowing them to understand that they are not separate from nature but an integral part of it. Wade concludes by encouraging all individuals to discover their own sit spot, a place where they can connect deeply with themselves and the environment. He quotes poet Wendell Berry, urging readers to embark on a spiritual journey that leads to a profound sense of belonging, a reminder that true connection lies not in distance traveled but in the intricate dance with the ground beneath our feet. As the mountain kids continue to fill their journals with reflections of the changing seasons, they are not only learning about the natural world around them but also discovering their place within it, a journey that promises to shape their identities and foster a lifelong love for the environment. Looking to the future, the hope is that these practices will inspire a new generation of stewards who recognize the importance of nature in their lives and the power of place-based education in nurturing that connection in the fast-paced world of startups. The journey to becoming a unicorn, defined as a privately held company valued at over $1 billion, has become a topic of fierce discussion and analysis. A recent study conducted by the Stanford Graduate School of Business Venture Capital Initiative sheds light on how long it typically takes for companies to achieve this coveted status, revealing that the path to success is often neither quick nor easy. The analysis highlights a median timeline of approximately 6.6 years for startups to reach unicorn status, indicating a long-term commitment rather than an overnight success. For founders currently embarking on their entrepreneurial journeys, the data suggests that they can expect to achieve unicorn status around mid-2031. However, this timeline is marked by significant variability, with some companies achieving this milestone in mere months while others take decades. For instance, startups like Inflection AI and World Labs reached unicorn status within months, while Domestika and Citadel Securities took nearly 20 years to achieve the same. The role of venture capital in this timeline is pivotal. The study found that early institutional backing is common among soon-to-be unicorns. Out of nearly 1,000 companies that reached unicorn status through private funding, a substantial 453 secured their first venture round within months of their founding. Another 281 achieved this funding milestone by the end of their second year. This early recognition by investors underscores the importance of being able to identify and support promising ideas at their inception. Nevertheless, the journey does not end with securing initial funding. The average unicorn requires about 5 funding rounds to reach its valuation, although this can vary widely. Some companies achieved unicorn status after fewer than 2 rounds, while others, like one firm that required 18 rounds, exemplify the ongoing need for capital as companies scale. Notably, while rapid growth is possible, it is not the norm. Most companies take between 2 to 7 years post-funding to reach unicorn status, with the peak period typically falling between 3 to 8 years after founding. Despite the allure of unicorn status, it is essential to note that it does not guarantee sustainable success. The high-profile collapse of WeWork, which saw its valuation plummet from $47 billion to bankruptcy in 2023, serves as a cautionary tale. This reality reinforces the idea that the unicorn race is fraught with challenges where many companies may face significant hurdles even after achieving initial success. The findings of this study resonate particularly strongly in the context of today's economic climate, where businesses outside Silicon Valley are grappling with innovation challenges. As highlighted in a concurrent discussion by LEK Consulting, corporate America is experiencing a fundamental innovation problem. With approximately 70 to 90% of new product launches failing. The authors of the forthcoming book Predictable Winners, Stuart Jackson and Ilya Trachtenberg, argue that a systematic approach to innovation, one that includes careful risk management, customer feedback, and a long-term investment perspective, is essential for sustained growth. As the landscape of entrepreneurship continues to evolve, understanding the intricate dynamics of building a unicorn becomes increasingly critical. The swift pace of technological advancement, coupled with shifting consumer preferences and economic pressures, suggests that the pathways to success are not only varied but also likely to change over time. The key takeaway for both founders and investors is the importance of patience and a strategic approach to navigating the complexities of the startup ecosystem. As new companies emerge, they carry the potential to reshape industries and redefine what it means to be a successful business in the 21st century. The future of innovation rests on the ability to learn from both the successes and failures within the unicorn journey, illuminating the path ahead for the next generation of entrepreneurs. In a world increasingly defined by the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, the emergence of the Chinese AI app DeepSeek has sparked a whirlwind of excitement and concern. While consumers have hailed it as a formidable rival to ChatGPT, governments worldwide are sounding alarms over potential security risks and data privacy violations. As various nations take steps to mitigate these perceived threats, the future of DeepSeek hangs in the balance. Launched to immediate acclaim, DeepSeek quickly ascended the charts of both the Google Play Store and Apple's App Store, drawing in users eager to explore its capabilities. However, the app's origins in China have raised significant eyebrows among global leaders. Governments are particularly worried about the implications of housing user data within Chinese borders, fearing that such a move could facilitate foreign surveillance and the spread of propaganda. The app's affordability and efficiency have further intensified concerns about its impact on domestic AI competitors. Italy was the first country to react decisively, blocking DeepSeek from both app stores at the end of January and initiating a data probe. "We are seeking clarity on which personal data is collected from which sources for which purposes and whether it is stored on servers located in China," the Italian authorities stated in their official communications. This proactive approach highlights the growing unease within Europe regarding the intersection of technology and national security. In the United States, New York State has taken similar measures, banning the app over serious concerns tied to foreign government surveillance. The U.S. Navy has already advised its personnel against downloading DeepSeek, and reports indicate that access to the app has been restricted on all Senate devices. A bipartisan bill currently under consideration seeks to extend these restrictions on a federal level, while Senator Josh Hawley is advocating for a total ban on the app, warning of legal repercussions for individuals and corporations that fail to comply. Australia's government has also taken steps to block DeepSeek, initially expressing concern before issuing directives to remove the app from all government systems. The directive extends to major entities like NBN Co and the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, which have preemptively banned the app, citing risks to privacy and data protection. South Korea's Ministry of Trade, Industry and Energy has temporarily banned DeepSeek for employees, echoing concerns about data security. Taiwan's government, given its tense relationship with China, has issued a ban on the app for state-owned enterprises and public schools, citing risks to national information security. As nations rally to address the potential threats posed by DeepSeek, it appears that more countries are poised to follow suit. The European Union is currently convening to discuss collective actions against the app, with member states sharing insights on their respective measures. Ireland, much like Italy, has also sought information from DeepSeek regarding its data practices. The apprehension surrounding DeepSeek raises a critical question: will the allure of this cutting-edge AI tool outweigh the concerns of national security? Historical patterns such as the popularity of TikTok amid similar scrutiny suggest that consumer enthusiasm may prevail in the short term. However, the prospect of comprehensive bans looms, and the ongoing discourse around data privacy will likely shape the trajectory of DeepSeek and similar applications. As the situation continues to unfold, the interplay between innovation and regulation remains a focal point in the tech landscape. The next few weeks will be crucial in determining whether DeepSeek can navigate these turbulent waters or if it will succumb to the mounting pressure from governments worldwide, ultimately reshaping the future of AI applications on a global scale. As the political landscape in the United States continues to evolve, the focus is shifting toward the roles and responsibilities of lawmakers, particularly in Nevada. With the upcoming 2025 session, Nevada's U.S. senators and representatives are poised to engage in critical committee assignments that will shape both state and national policies. This strategic positioning comes at a time when the state faces numerous challenges, from economic recovery to pressing social issues, making the effectiveness of these assignments even more crucial. In a recent announcement, Nevada's congressional delegation detailed their committee assignments, which are expected to align with the state's priorities and the interests of their constituents. Senator Jackie Rosen, who has been active in advocating for Nevada's tourism and healthcare sectors, will serve on the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation. Her role is particularly significant as it encompasses issues related to technology infrastructure and environmental concerns, all of which are vital for the state's economy. Meanwhile, Senator Catherine Cortez Masto will continue her work on the Senate Committee on Finance, where she has been an advocate for tax reform and healthcare policy. Cortez Masto's experience in financial matters will be instrumental as Congress grapples with budgetary challenges and attempts to navigate the complexities of federal funding, which directly impacts Nevada's education and healthcare systems. On the House side, Representatives Dina Titus and Stephen Horsford are also set to play pivotal roles. Titus will serve on the House Committee on Appropriations, a position that will enable her to influence federal spending decisions that affect key sectors in Nevada, including education and public safety. Horsford, on the other hand, has been assigned to the House Committee on Education and Labor, where he can champion policies that address employment, workforce development, and educational opportunities for Nevadans. In light of these assignments, political analysts suggest that Nevada's delegation is strategically positioned to leverage their influence in Congress. With the right committee placements, Nevada's lawmakers can advocate for policies that not only benefit their state but also resonate on a national level, said political strategist David L. Anderson. This sentiment is echoed by the larger Democratic agenda, which aims to address issues such as climate change, healthcare accessibility, and economic inequality. The implications of these committee roles extend beyond Nevada. As the Biden administration continues to push its agenda, the involvement of Nevada's congressional members in key committees could facilitate the passage of legislation that aligns with the administration's goals. This alignment is crucial, especially as Congress faces a divided landscape where bipartisan support is often essential for the advancement of significant policies. Looking ahead, the effectiveness of Nevada's congressional delegation will largely depend on their ability to navigate the complexities of legislative processes while remaining responsive to the needs of their constituents. As they prepare for the 2025 session, the focus will not only be on their individual committee assignments but also on how these roles can collectively enhance Nevada's standing in national discussions. In conclusion, as the political landscape evolves, the committee assignments of Nevada's senators and representatives will play a critical role in shaping the state's future. With a clear mandate and strategic positioning, they have the opportunity to influence key policies that will benefit not only Nevada but the entire nation. As they embark on this new legislative session, all eyes will be on how effectively they can leverage their roles to address the pressing challenges facing their constituents and the country at large. In a world where scientific discourse often feels stifled by gatekeeping and censorship, a new journal has emerged with the mission of fostering open dialogue and transparency in medical research. The Journal of the Academy of Public Health (JAPH) was recently launched by a group of scientists including notable figures associated with the Trump administration who aim to challenge the status quo in scientific publishing. Among the co-founders are Martin Kulldorff, a former Harvard Medical School professor and prominent critic of COVID-19 policies, and Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, a Stanford University health policy professor and Trump's nominee for the director of the National Institutes of Health (NIH). The impetus behind JAPH stems from the founders' experiences during the COVID-19 pandemic, which they claim was marred by censorship of dissenting views. Scientific journals have had enormous positive impacts on the development of science, but in some ways they are now hampering rather than enhancing open scientific discourse, Kulldorff stated in an article outlining the journal's founding principles. He emphasized that JAPH will adopt a novel approach by publishing peer reviews of studies from other journals that do not make their reviews publicly accessible, thereby promoting transparency and accountability. JAPH will operate under an open access model, allowing anyone to access its content without a paywall. Kulldorff noted that this approach not only democratizes knowledge but also enables scientists to publish their findings in a timely manner free from the constraints of traditional publishing hurdles. "We will not gatekeep new and important ideas for the sake of established orthodoxies," Andrew Neumer, the incoming editor-in-chief of JAPH, asserted, highlighting the journal's commitment to exploring unconventional ideas. The founders of JAPH, including Dr. Marty Makary, a professor at Johns Hopkins University and Trump's nominee to lead the Food and Drug Administration (FDA), have been vocal about their experiences with censorship. Makary testified before Congress about how his research supporting the effectiveness of natural immunity was suppressed. Similarly, Bhattacharya has expressed frustration over being targeted for his views on COVID-19 restrictions, which often diverged from mainstream narratives. The journal's creation comes at a time when discussions surrounding the integrity and transparency of scientific research are more critical than ever. As Kulldorff pointed out, we have seen too little published scholarship on the origins of SARS-CoV-2, underscoring the need for open inquiry in scientific fields that are still grappling with the implications of the pandemic. While JAPH's founders are focused on the journal's potential to reshape scientific discourse, they also face skepticism from some quarters. Critics argue that the founders' previous positions on COVID-19 mitigation strategies may bias their editorial stance. However, the leadership team insists that the journal's mission is rooted in a commitment to scientific integrity and the pursuit of truth regardless of prevailing opinions. As the scientific community continues to evolve, JAPH represents a bold attempt to navigate the challenges of modern publishing and promote a culture of open dialogue. The journal's success could pave the way for a new model of academic publishing that prioritizes transparency, accessibility, and a diversity of perspectives. Looking ahead, it remains to be seen how JAPH will influence the broader landscape of scientific research, particularly in the fields of public health and medicine. The coming months will likely reveal whether this initiative can withstand scrutiny and truly foster the kind of discourse it aims to promote.